Hello, friends and fans, and welcome back to the Butterfly Effect podcast. I'm Jack, and I'm here with Liam.
How's it going?
And in today's episode, we're doing a bit of name analysis for the Quarry characters. More specifically, we're going to be looking at their surnames.
Eliza Vorez. So when I looked up the name Vorez, not much comes out, but a good friend, Hidden Object Guru, did give me a little teaser that Vorez is directly linked to Voorhees. Eliza is kind of like the father, Elias Voorhees, who's the father of Jason. So this is not really, there's not much in the meaning. However, it is a direct Easter egg and nod to the 80s classic horror, which we know the Quarry does throughout this game.
So, as for Caitlin's surname, K or Ka, I don't know how you pronounce it, the first thing that Google says is that it means spark of life, according to the ancient Egyptians. Now, I don't think that weighs up with Caitlin's character, personally. I consider her as more like a leader. I don't see her as that sort of infectious personality to give her sort of the meaning spark of life, but hey ho.
Laura Kearney. So Kearney is Irish for warlike and victorious. Now this sums up Laura pretty well. Victorious subjective, depending on how you play through with Laura went, but warlike very much so. We see that once she comes back in after the prologue, she's come in with a mission set to kill Chris Hackett, and she is very much warlike, whether she's blowing someone's face off with a shotgun or scaring Bobby away in the Hackett house.
Okay, so Abigail's surname, Blyg, means shy and timid. So, of course, getting to know Abby, she is very introverted. I think she likes to keep her own company. I can exactly understand why Supermassive gave her this surname.
Emma Mountbank. So, yeah, the definition for this one is swindler and charlatan, or someone who deceives and tricks. Now, we had a recent debate video where special guest Anya came on board, and we kind of came up with a few different opinions. Anya made a great point how it could be to do with her vlog dynamic, about how she kind of puts on a mask and fakes it but louder, as discussed with Abby in chapter 1. But maybe it talks about, the whole deceiving thing, and it could be kind of, a negative connotation. And it could, talk about very much her actions at the campfire as well.
Jacob's surname, Custos, means keeper, custodian and guard. So, I mean, again, it's a little bit of a struggle. If you really wanted to go there, you could say that he is quite possessive of Emma. Maybe he's like her custodian. He doesn't want anyone else to get near her. So that's why he has this surname. But it's up for you guys, up to you to decide.
Max Brinley. So Brinley is directly translated and it means burnt meadow. Now this is quite difficult to depict what we mean by a burnt meadow. A burnt meadow is obviously quite unfortunate, and if we look at Max's story, he is kind of a victim. He goes through a torrid time, whether he's turned into a wolf, he's imprisoned for a month, or absolutely attacked by Chris Hackett in the basement. So for me, the connotations I'm getting from this, it bleeds into that whole victim card. So yeah, but obviously it's quite a weak one here, guys, but obviously correct me if I'm wrong and back me up on this one.
So Nick's surname, Chillo, stands for a lot of things apparently. It can mean compassion, creativity, reliability, generosity, loyalty, a love for domestic life. Now the domestic life one, don't know where that comes from, but certainly compassion, maybe. Generosity, a push. I mean, others would argue, given that he kisses Emma, that it's not very thoughtful of Abby. But nonetheless, yeah, apparently they're really trying to paint Nick as a good guy.
Ryan Azala. Now this one's quite interesting because the direct translation is chatterbox in German. Now, as we all know, Ryan is probably the most antisocial one in the group, as evidenced by the fact that he won't speak to Jacob at the start with his headphones in. He's very much lost in his podcast, being described as mysterious and brooding. So maybe this is a bit of an irony one, but maybe it speaks about his development, about how he develops as a character, becomes more of a leader, and has that dynamic where he comes out his shell, especially in the scenes with Laura later on in the game.
Dylan's surname, Lenivy, is lazy in Czech, and I'm going to say that I completely disagree with this one. When you think about Dylan's character, he's actually very proactive. He's the one who suggests about getting help over the radio. He's the one that controls the crane that can ultimately save Caitlin from getting killed. So yeah, I wouldn't say he was lazy. The only instance is perhaps where he doesn't help Jacob towards the beginning of the game with the bags. But otherwise, it could be another ironic one, like Ryan, as you said, mate.
And Hackett. Now, initially, if you look up the translation for Hackett, or the meaning of Hackett even, it is fish seller. Now, I don't know about you, but this does not really scream what Bobby, Jedediah, and Constance get up to in their free time. But what you can look at is, we covered this in a different video, but there is a horror film called The Dead of Night, which is directed by a Joan Hackett, and there is a mini chapter within that with a character called Bobby. So I believe this is a direct nod to that old 80s horror film.
So that's it, guys. That's our quick deep dive into the surnames for each of the characters in the Quarry. If you enjoyed this video, if you like name analysis, then I recommend that you go and look at our recent Devil in Me video. I won't say any more for spoilers, but yeah, there's some interesting finds there. Okay, guys, we'll see you in the next video.
You take care, guys. See you soon.